Hello, I'm Dale Black, pastor and former airline pilot, and you may wish to know that I spent 4 years as a cancer researcher because my wife was given just 3 to 6 months to live with terminal cancer, and without chemotherapy, without radiation, without drugs, she was able to reverse cancer, and she's completely alive and well and lives a very vibrant life. This is told in the story Life, Cancer, and God, which you can get at my website if you like. But today we're going to be talking about cancer and root canals and how they interrelate with each other, because they do. There are problems with root canals. Now, I can see you smiling already. Nobody enjoys getting a root canal, at least nobody that I know. But there's another problem with root canals. Not only are they not fun, they can be seriously health-threatening. Now listen to me carefully. Too many things that are normalized in our culture, like root canals, can introduce disease and toxins into your system. Now stay with me here. Understanding this is very, very important. I have a good friend of mine who's an oral surgeon, and I have another friend who's been a dentist for 50-some years. And so I've learned a lot from them, and I've done a lot of research on this subject. In order to treat the root of a tooth or an abscess that forms at the base of the root, a dentist must drill, otherwise remove any loose or infected material from the canal that houses the nerve of the tooth. This process always kills the nerve. This is important. And once this area is clean, the dentist can then treat the abscess. When the nerve is removed from the tooth, here's what happens. The tooth dies, and of course it no longer supplies itself with nutrients. The normal structure of the tooth includes tiny little cannules, they're called, and they're similar to the capillaries in other human tissue. In a living tooth, these cannules carry the nutrients to every part of the tooth. But once the tooth is dead, guess what? The nutrients stop circulating through these cannules, and then they become infested with viruses and bacteria. Not only that, but the filling of the nerve canal shrinks a tiny little bit, leaving a small gap, enough for the microorganisms to lodge there too. What's really strange, my research has shown that none of these infections show on the dental x-rays, but upon closer examinations, they're definitely there. So a dead tooth is a potent source of bacteria and viral toxins, and then they spread throughout the body. Many people with a very strong immune system have some really good defenses, thank God for this, and it's built up, and they can live with this constant source of trouble without showing. But the symptoms are still there, and technically, according to these lab results, about 25% of the people with root canals develop various diseases, most of them chronic. They occur later, but they usually develop 25% of the people. That's a lot. Well, you might ask, well, how do we know if the root canal is to blame? You need to look into this book, Life, Cancer, and God, and you get a lot more details in it. But I can say, after 4 years as a cancer researcher and a minister of the gospel, there's numerous very honest and scientific studies that show that root canals cause or contribute to degenerative diseases such as cancer. Unquestionably, everyone who studies seems to know this nowadays. Cancer can come from root canals in your mouth. On a personal note, I have a personal friend who died of cancer. After having successfully reversed this horrible disease using the highly effective methods that are explained in this book, Life, Cancer, and God. She lived for about 5 or 6 years in very good health. But she still had 2 major factors working against her. First, she still lived in a life full of stress. And second, she had a mouthful of root canals and these amalgam mercury fillings. If you talk to her husband, which I've done, he believes that it was those two factors that allowed cancer to overtake her in the very end. If you'd like to learn more, then go to daleblack.org, and you may wish to check out our cancer coaching ministry. Thanks for listening. Remember, with God, nothing is impossible.